Hello.
Okay. Hello. Happy Goddess Chat Wednesday.
Happy Goddess Chat Wednesday. In April,
hmm Can't believe it's already the end of April.
we're just 2 days off of a super pink full moon
Oh.
in
hmm
Scorpio.
hmm
So for all you people who are water signs, probably somewhat magnified. And then for those of you who are Scorpios, probably were feeling it
Well, for
big
those of
time.
you who have a lot of water in your chart,
Yeah, or in your chart. Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if you aren't a water sign,
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I mean for everybody that
yeah, it was
it
intense.
is very emotional. But it's funny. I know we were going to talk about the goddess, but this is element of the goddess is the moon cycles and all that.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about it being emotional, I really didn't feel when I think about emotional, you think, oh, sadness or crying and
Mm,
all this stuff, but
yeah.
you don't think about emotional as like joy or
hmm
or even like contentment or just happiness that
Yeah.
that things are good and uh, positivity and all that, because that's really how I was
Mm.
feeling. I really
hmm
wasn't feeling like, oh, I got to let go of this heavy stuff. And, this go around, it felt lighter. I think it was just joyful for me. I don't know. Maybe it was because I got to go out on the beach and take pictures of it and all that, because that's always special.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I think
Yeah.
that it's all about whatever it is that's being, stirred up within you, right?
Right. Right. And then I guess that goes pretty well with our goddess for the week,
hmm
Lalita, because the intention or the statement we have with it is playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads
Mm,
me back to the light. So
mm.
we,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I experience this often with clients about, the drudgery of the spiritual journey and it feeling like, oh, I'm just constantly like dredging
right.
through things. And the truth is that it's not meant to be always in that heavier energy. The play is so important to the spiritual journey because that's when you are in reverence of your experiences and you are feeling light and enjoying that lightness because you have done the work, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
have released yourself of that heaviness, which then just wakes up this playful, like, okay, I'm going to go and go for it. I remember when I had this um, awakening at one point in time on my journey, and it goes through cycles. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what it comes down to. The duality of dark and light is necessary as part of your journey. But I can remember very clearly, especially in my late 30s, early 40s, when I was going through a period of my journey of just having fun. Like I was training for a half Ironman, I was traveling all over the country, I was just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't a whole lot of deep diving, oh, I gotta dive into this part of myself today. It
All
was
this
just,
introspection, you wake up,
yeah,
oh my gosh,
yeah.
does this mean? What does that
It
mean?
was just fun. And part of that was the need to allow myself to have fun. I grew up very serious, have a very serious personality because of the way that I grew up. I was the oldest of four. I was a latchkey kid. It was like, okay, we have to work, take care of your siblings, and so there was this weight of responsibility that I took on very early in my life, and so it just kind of hung out with me throughout my life. And then to turn this corner in my late 30s and be like, I'm gonna have fun. That's when I found myself in Hawaii. That's when I found myself in Sedona. That's when I found myself in Alaska. Like, it was just, I'm going to do whatever it is that is bringing me joy, and trusting in the divine to provide for me so I could do all those things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I love the power of words. Of course, we all know what we speak, we create. And there was a time when I replaced the word work for fun, because you can go to work and be like, oh, gotta go to work, and make me work is kind of like heavy and all that. So I would say, I get to go to fun today. And I would go. And then at the end of my shift, I would say to some of my coworkers, I would say, I'm leaving for today. And I said, that was so much fun. I think I'll come back tomorrow. That was like and then my coworker's like, are you coming back tomorrow? And I said, I think so. It was kind of fun. And we just had a joke about it because, and then I love what you posted yesterday on the Tuesday Tools about laughter yoga, because, and somebody else not talking about laughter yoga, but just basically like, when you need to motivate yourself or uplift yourself, just laugh.
Yeah.
And I mean, just even thinking about it just makes me laugh. I mean, how hard, when you just like force yourself to laugh, it doesn't take long for it to really become genuine, right? Because that's in us, right?
Yeah. Well, and like for me, especially in the last several years, the goddess journey has led me to these relationships with people like Paige and my friend Sue and my friend Erin. Like, I could go on and name all these amazing women that I've been gifted with that inspired joy in our time together, and we laugh and we go away to the beach and have fun drumming, and there's just so much joy in that time. So that's also part of the spiritual journey. Okay, where am I finding fun and play with the people that I'm with? Like, who am I enjoying my time with? Right. I have to remember to bring joy into my relationship with my son, because I get so like hyper focused on being the responsible parent and making sure that he's moving in the direction that we are guiding him, to, and he's such a silly human being. Like, just in general, he likes to be silly. So it's been an interesting perspective in our relationship, because there's days that I'm just like, I'm in the zone of, you're just not listening to the things that I'm saying. And then he'll say something and I'm like holding it back not to laugh, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be happy with you right now.
That's right. No, I'm mad at you. I want to be happy.
And so then he changes the energy of our conversation. When he was really little, and I know why he does that. When he was really little, he would get mad. And we would look at him, my sister and I, and say, don't smile. Don't do it. Don't smile. And he would be so upset with us because he couldn't help but smile.
Right. It's like, yeah.
Just turn the energy around. Just turn it around.
Turn that frown upside down, as we used to say with the kids.
Exactly. And for us, it was just more of a, all right, well, if you're upset, it's okay to be upset, but do you want to stay there? And so we would invite him to decide if he was staying there or if he wanted to shift. And every time, and still, he's almost 19 years old. If he's upset with me, I'll look at him and go, don't smile. He will turn his whole body away from me because he cannot not smile.
I love it.
It doesn't matter how upset with me he might be. He can't do it. So there's joy all around us. It's just a matter of, are we tapping into it, right? I mean, that's the lovely thing about laughter yoga, and that's why I chose it, is that when you go to a laughter yoga class, you're intentionally making these sounds that emit laughter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the whole room is laughing. And no matter what your ego brain is telling you, oh, this is ridiculous, oh, it's not going to work, like you're laughing by the time you're done with it. And by the end of that kind of a session, you're just light as a feather.
Yeah, and I don't know of any culture or people on the earth, in the globe, that laughter isn't the same thing. I mean, I don't know any culture where you laugh because it's a horrible situation or something, right? I mean, it's universal. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it's in our body. It's
joy.
Yeah. Well, I like what they say about Lalita in our book about she's known for her spontaneity and for liberating her devotees with joy. She's the consciousness that comes when we get so caught up in taking ourselves seriously that we forget the profound, simple pleasures like sunlight on her face or the taste of a ripe strawberry. She is the delicious moment when we remember that we don't have to take everything, especially ourselves, seriously. Yeah. That delicious moment. Ooh. What a great word.
Right. And so,
like, I want to hang on to this. This is so good.
Yeah. Well, and we talk about the different goddesses and how can we invoke this energy into our lives? Well, that's it right there. That is it right there. Mm-hmm. When you are taking yourself so seriously, or you taking life so seriously, that's when you want to be calling on Lalita.
That's when you went, Lalita,
help me get
serenity
now. Serenity now. I like woosah, woosah.
Yeah, I love that. Serenity now. Ooh. But no, Lalita, I love just saying her name. She has just been so much fun to play with this week. Lalita, it just sounds so like you just want to twirl around and I don't know.
Just play in that energy for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So goddesses, share with us. We would love to hear what your experiences are of when you invited joy into a space that maybe you were feeling dense, and what what things you enjoy to do. What are your play?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of play and all of that, this week we have our resident artist on the beach that draws those beautiful mandalas, and this past week he had bubbles. He came out with this huge bubble wand that was huge, and he was just blowing bubbles.
Nice.
And everybody was running around playing and taking pictures of them, and he was having a ball that we were enjoying it, and it was just like just watching these bubbles float over the ocean.
Nice.
And it was a nice surprise. Because I just looked over and I saw these bubbles floating by. I went, who's doing this? And I realized it was Trey. And I thought, oh, what a great guy to do that.
Yeah.
We all need to lighten up,
and
enjoy. So I feel good. How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel good. Well, we look forward to sharing with you again next week. But please do share in the comments. What is your, how can you resonate with the spiritual practice of play?
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Well, thank you all for joining us. It's a lovely Wednesday. We will check in with you next week on a Wednesday. Yeah. Until then.
Have a beautiful day.
All right.